What's up, guys? Taryn Anthony here for Rev 3 Games. I don't know if you know about this, but the Olympics are this weekend.
Olympics,
did you know
man.
that? They're in London.
Yeah.
That's a place that is real.
Sports.
Yeah. So we wanted to gather around our 5 favorite Olympics video games because he and I are nerdly weaklings and we can't play sports
I don't know anything
to save the
about
life
real
of us.
sports, but if you collect some fake sports and put them on a cartridge or a disc of some sort, I can usually
It all
keep
starts
up.
to make sense.
Yeah.
So the top of the list at number 5 is Caveman Olympics. It's really just like Encino Man style parodies.
It's
of
great.
Olympic
You have things like you have to competitive fire starting, dinosaur 100-meter racing, and then my favorite one and the one that like got the most attention was mate tossing.
Yeah.
Get a couple of 8-year-olds around a computer and show them that you can toss people around.
It's fun
awesome.
for the whole family. They had a lot of weird things in that
Yeah.
game. Pole vaulting over a dinosaur.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A lot of weird stuff going on. Next is Izzy's quest for the Olympic rings, which again,
So,
hardly an Olympic game.
A lot of Olympic games that you're going to see, they follow the same format. It's a collection of sports, it's button mashing, it's like perfectly timed releasing of buttons to accomplish things. This game was just a nightmare. This game took the worst things about the Olympics, which was Izzy, this 90s Olympic mascot, and then the strange 90s love for licensed character platformers, and it mashed them together into this thing that was like if you told an 8-year-old to recreate Rayman the best he could.
Yeah. It's funny how closely it actually resembles, like, even the more recent Rayman games. But
Yeah.
the mascot, it's like, why? Nobody liked that mascot.
Nope.
People did nothing but complain about it when it came out. And then not only did they make this game, they made a sequel to it the year after.
Well,
Why?
you know what? To wrap up the story, there was a lot of plot.
All right, next up at number 3 is Decathlete. This is a Sega game, came out for the Saturn, mid-90s.
This is number 3 on the countdown, and we have to be impartial, but this is as impartial as we can be, but this is probably my personal favorite.
Technically speaking, it's definitely higher up on the list, I think. And they actually tried to go with like real Olympic events. So you'll have like the 100-meter dash in there and stuff like that.
My favorite thing about Decathlete was when I was working in a video game store and we had a Saturn demo unit, we would always demo Decathlete because it ran in super high resolution, 640 by 480, 60 frames a second. I'm cutting myself on those edges. They're so sharp. God, it's like I'm really there.
But you were the talk of Funko Land that day.
Oh, my stars.
No, well, the funny thing about this game is that they tried to be so serious with the actual events, and then the characters were completely off the wall and zany. They all had these like ridiculously stereotypical names that didn't even match the countries they were from. Like the French woman, I think, had like her last name was Reggiano or something.
Why not?
It's like they just looked inside their fridge and came up with names for people. But then they named the black guy Robin Banks. They name him Robin Banks and they make him wear a zebra print leotard. If that's not racist, I don't know what is.
Oh, 90s Sega. You were so out of touch with everything, and I love you for it.
It's still so brilliant.
It's so good.
Speaking of Sega, Mario and Sonic go to the Winter Olympics. Mario and Sonic do the Winter Olympics, whatever it's called. That's our number 2 pick.
Mario and Sonic do the Winter Olympics, I think, is the porn parody.
That might be a more interesting game.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? This isn't a bad game.
No.
Like, for all the hullabaloo about motion control and stuff, like, they took the best parts of the first Mario and Sonic at the Olympics and kind of made them better. And by that, I mean they got rid of a lot of the motion control stuff and just turned it into a series of mini games. Like this is running, basically.
Sure.
So it's all like forearm exercises. They did have some crazy stuff in there, though. They're like dream levels where you're flying through space were kind of trippy.
And like, it's so weird because it's like, they're at the Olympic Games, but also flying in space.
But also space. That makes total sense.
Yes.
All right, moving on to our number 1 pick, Track and Field 2, going back to the classics.
Yeah.
Not quite the first classic.
This is, to me, though, the archetypal Olympic game. This is, the multiple sports, multiplayer. It's got the button mashing, and that's your total strategy. This feels like what Olympic games and Olympic video games have been built on.
Yeah, and the first one was good. It was just so simple because it was really kind of one of the first of its kind. And then for the second game, they took out all but like 2 of the events, and they were like, oh, let's throw a bunch of random crap in here. Like, why not have you arm wrestle or shoot clay pigeons?
That arm wrestling, I had nightmares about those guys. If you look at their portraits, they're just like,
it's ridiculous. They're all roided out.
they look like a Tool video.
they went away from like kind of the normal Olympic style events, and then they added some bonus levels in there that were just totally off the wall. Like there's one where you just shoot guys in an alleyway.
Tara, that is historically accurate. Have you seen Munich?
Actually, that's true. Good work.
Thanks.
So those were our top 5 picks. Note that these aren't quite necessarily the best Olympic Games. They're just our personal favorites, ones that resonated a lot with us in our childhoods. If you have any others that you'd like to recommend or that you absolutely hate, let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe so you can get more top 5s from us. There are going to be a lot more in the future. Do you want to arm wrestle?
I'll put my arm wrestling face on.
I'm ready. Stop that turning me on.